impressive were your Lakers last night?
And it's one game. I'm not finna get overly, start buying, playoff tickets or anything like that.
No, I don't know. You might.
I'm not gonna, put any time request any time off for June. They're gonna have a parade, Skip. But I did like what I see. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. I think D'Angelo Russell is a better fit with AD and LeBron than Russ is. He's really good at the pick and roll. He got a herky-jerky motion that he can get to the rim, and even if he doesn't, he's going to get fouled. He got a lot of foul calls last night because of that motion. He's a better shooter on the outside, although I think Russ probably is a better defender than D'Lo. But I thought they played well. I thought AD was a monster again, crashing the glass, blocking shots, playing really good on both ends. LeBron was, 7 of 14, 0 of 5. They were terrible from the free throw line. They missed 14 free throws. This game really shouldn't have been that close if they could make free throws. But I like what I saw, Skip. Overall, the 30th starting lineup. Hopefully, this is the last starting lineup that we see unless LeBron is load managing, unless AD is load managing. Hopefully, we don't have another situation where we got to see another starting lineup. I like this starting lineup. Malik Beasley did make a couple of threes, Skip. And so I like what I saw. The question is, it's only one game. Now they got a long break, Skip, All-Star weekend. I don't think they're probably going to play until, Thursday of next week, something like that. So they get some time off.
Yep.
But I like what I saw. And there are 2 games out of the 10th spot, 3.5 games out of the 6th spot. We're going to be in the playoffs.
Well, I hope you are.
Yeah, no, I need
after
to hope.
what I saw last night.
Hope.
It would be all-time shameful after what I saw last night if you missed the playoffs.
I think hope is a female name in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct, Skip?
There are a lot of hopes.
Yeah, okay then. Well, we don't need hope.
Shannon Sharpe.
We got GOAT.
I'll leave that alone for the day because I'm going to be nice today. I'm going to a 9 on the impress scale because Shannon Sharpe, that was by far the best your Lakers have looked all season long. And it feels like it has been a long season for your Lakers. We're 70% into the season?
Yes.
And finally, they blew out a team they should have blown out. There's no Zion. There's no Larry Nance Jr. They should have blown them out. They were sort of begging to be blown out early on, and they got back in the game at halftime, and then you started to push down on the accelerator, and early in the fourth quarter, LeBron said, I got this, and he attacked the rim 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden, the Pels said no mas. It was a beautiful thing to watch because I got to tell you, as a guy who watches every single dribble of your Lakers because of LeBron James, it was a pleasure to watch your Lakers last night without Russell Westbrook. I think you would agree. It was just a pleasure to have the cloud lifted off because the best number in this whole stat sheet is I'm looking at D'Angelo Russell started the game last night and played 28 minutes. And he had 1 turnover for the night. That's the most beautiful stat on this whole box. He had 1 turnover because I am sick and tired of watching Russell Westbrook have 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 turnovers, and we come in here and do a Russell Westbrook memorial turnover blooper reel day after day after day. I got no blooper reels today because there weren't any bloopers. LeBron did have 4 turnovers, but he hasn't played now for whatever it's been a week, and he looked a little rusty, and he's trying to get his legs back under him. And I don't know what's going on with his foot. It changes every night. Last night they reported that it's actually an ankle injury that is affecting the foot. I don't know, but whatever. He looked fine last night. When he decided to attack the rim, he looked like he had his usual explosion.
Didn't you see him take the shoe off on the sideline?
No, I guess so, but I don't know if he's just trying to build in.
Man, there you go. See, there you go.
All I know is this was a brand new night with a brand new starting lineup, and it was highly impressive that you started. As I looking at the box score, you started D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. 3 new players in your lineup thrown into the fire with LeBron James, who is not easy to play with. He's easy to play with as far as he's the best passer in basketball, but it's hard to sort of measure up alongside him. And guess who was locked in, plugged in, switch on last night? AD. He came to play. And he put up numbers, like you just said, where you say, oh, there he is.
13 to 17.
13 to 17 for 28 points with 10 rebounds and 5 assists. That'll work. If you get that every night, you're going to be in every game. You're going to win a whole bunch of games because he's at least a top 10 player, if not a top 5 player. So I loved LeBron after the game. He was raving about his new teammates. I told you yesterday they got 10% better. I'm going to go up to 20% better because there's no more rust.
One game.
Okay, I got it, but I could see it. I got to see them in a real live NBA game against real competition, a team that had just embarrassed you down in New Orleans not too long ago.
Yeah, payback.
Yeah, and there's a little payback going on here. But LeBron did say after the game something's brewing, and he said, I just love what we were able to pick up. So do I. So here we go. And then he went specific, and nobody can get more specific in player capsules than LeBron James.
Right.
He's great after games. So he's talking. You mentioned about D'Lo. Here's LeBron. He says, I know D'Lo is really good, shifty point guard. He can space the floor because he's very crafty, very deceiving with his quickness, the way he plays the game. Well, he is. He's got a sort of stop and go to him that it gets you back on your heels.
He's a quicker Mike Conley. Skip the Mike Conley played the left-handed guy. They got the little crafty moves.
He's taller.
Yes.
Is he 6'3" or 4?
Probably 6'3", 6'4".
I think he's 6'4", actually. Okay, he can shoot it. He's not a natural-born point guard, but LeBron can do that.
Scorer.
Okay, he's just a scorer, and he's a shifty, sort of deceiving scorer. I love all that. And then it was interesting that on ESPN last night, they said that Brandon Ingram's #1 toughest defender on him is Jared Vanderbilt. Mark Jackson said that he heard it from one of the Pels broadcasters, that B.I. always says that the guy I have the hardest time against is Jared Vanderbilt. Well, how good is that? And then it was LeBron after the game saying Vando is a Swiss Army knife. Defensive ability, offensive rebounding, all the things you saw tonight. Well, how sweet of a pickup is that?
Yeah.
You struggled on defense, and all of a sudden you got a guy that B.I., the former Laker, and their best scorer says, I have the hardest night against him. Okay? Don't you love that?
Yeah.
And then I told you Malik Beasley when we were in Arizona, if you look hard at his numbers, he has the third most three-pointers made over the last 2 years to Steph Curry and Buddy Hield. Well, how great is that? Have you not struggled from three? You actually struggled from three last night, but it didn't matter.
Three and the free throw line.
Okay, all right.
And Mo Bamba, that's the same. I mean, he do 8 feet tall, and all he want to do is shoot threes.
Okay, but if you look at his numbers, they say he can shoot threes.
Well, I saw him last night, and my eyes say he can't.
Okay, well, he missed all 4 of them, right?
5.
5 of them. Okay, he missed 5 of them. Thomas Bryant was a pretty good three-point shooter, but when I looked at their numbers, they were about the same. I think he's like a 36% three-point
Yeah, but
shooter.
I'm saying, but TB wanted to be down. He wanted to bang. He was getting offensive rebounds.
Yep.
He was putting it back. He had a stretch there, Skip, where he was 30 and 17 and had some big numbers. Look, Skip, I'm not going to miss one game. Check back with me after they get like 6 or 7 games in, maybe 10, because they got 23 games left now after playing this game last night. Let me get 10 games in, and I'm going to be bullish or I'm going to be bearish.
Okay. You should be bullish. You should love what you saw because it's so much better than what it was. I'm with you. I'm not going to go to championship level just yet, but it's got potential. With LeBron playing at this level,
Right.
age 38, year 20, with AD showing you what happens when he decides to actually play basketball.
Yep.
With all those new pieces and 3 of them in the starting lineup, which means you still have Austin Reeves coming off the bench. You know what? He's just a basketball player.
Right.
He just makes plays. His little touch passes in the lane on little pop things on fast breaks, he knows how to play.
Yeah.
LeBron trusts him. He'll make shots. He'll make driving shots. He'll make fallaways. He'll make three-point shots when he gets fouled, as he did last night.
Right.
He does a lot of little big things. And Troy Brown still comes in and makes threes, right?
Yeah.
And you look at Schroeder, I know he goes hot and cold, but he still made 2 or 3 nice little plays last night.
He did.
I like him coming off the bench. So what is not and Hachimura, he's a pretty good NBA player.
Skip, it's one game, and I've seen guys be consistent one game, and then all of a sudden, for 4 or 5 games, they don't know how to play the game of basketball. So I'm not as excited as you are because I need to see more of it. I'm not going to put all my eggs in the one basket and then trip on my way to the market. That's not going to happen. It's one game, Skip. You know it's one game. I know what you're trying to do.
Okay.
You're trying to build this up.
Okay, I'm trying to say you should have no more excuses because
We didn't have no excuses anyway. When you got AD and LeBron, I don't give a damn who else you got. Me, you, and Jen could have filled out the starting lineup and you're supposed to make the playoffs. You got 2 guys that's
Thank
top
you.
75 players.
Thank you.
One guy is universally regarded as 1-2 and the conversation of the best players of all time. That should be enough.
preach to the choir. I'm the choir. I'm with you. I've been saying all year, This team has led the NBA in underachievement. You're still 5 games under 500, but you cleared the decks. No Russ, no Pat Bev. Darvin Ham's freed psychologically of having to juggle those balls because they're handfuls for a young coach, a first-year head coach. So all of a sudden, he looks happier. He talked about Q of L, quality of life. That was a win last night that allowed him to heave a sigh of relief and go into the break thinking, you know what? We got a shot. In my first year of head coaching the Los Angeles Lakers, we got a shot. So now you got 23 games left. You think they could win? What was your count yesterday?
16-7.
Okay, 16-7. I said 17-6. They're just good enough. Did it not fit together last night? Did it not look like it worked to you?
43-7. Okay, so that means we'll be 43-39.
Okay. But in the West, that's a pretty good number right there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The West is begging to be won by somebody. I know Denver beat Dallas last night, but there was no Kyrie. We're going to talk about that. Denver is pretty good. I don't think they're invincible.
I don't think they world beaters, no.
Okay, they're not. Memphis talks a better game than they play.
Yes.
As you well know. Okay, so, again, Josh says, I don't fear anybody in the West. Well, trust me, Josh, nobody in the West fears you either.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, so now we go down to Sacramento. I love Sacramento. I love De'Aaron
You love Phoenix now all of a sudden.
Okay.
They got KD.
Well, now they have the biggest 7-foot-tall X factor in the history of this game, but it's hard to throw it together and say, poof, take off.
Right. It should be easy because you got a historically great point guard.
Yep.
You got a guy in Kevin Durant that doesn't need the ball. He doesn't need to be ball dominant.
Yeah.
All DeAndre Ayton got to do is like, bro, I'm going to protect it. Whatever you guys need. If I need to give you 10 points and 18 rebounds and 3 or 4 block shots, I got you. Okay. Because I don't know if he doesn't need to give them 20 and 10 because you're going to get plenty of points from Book. You're going to get plenty of points from KD. They got a nice, their bench is not as deep once you gave up Mikal Bridges. You saw what he did last night.
Yeah.
Cam Johnson is not there. But I think they
got Terrence Ross on a buyout. That's going to help them a lot.
Yeah, and 3-point shooting.
And TJ Warren came over in the deal, and I like him. Yeah. So I don't think they're a bad bench.
Yeah.
So they are the team. I believe they're the team to beat. But last quick point, I got to make note of this because he is the all-time greatest scorer in the.
But I thought you weren't going to do this.
Okay, well, just one small point.
I knew you was going to do it.
End of third quarter, LeBron, you got to be better than this. You just can't do this. You can't. He's at the free throw line. He does his routine. He takes his deep breath and.
He wanted to be perfect.
He
wanted to switch it, Skip. It happened. But you told
it was nothing but net because it hit only the bottom.
But you said you weren't going to do that. You said you was going to be positive today.
I know.
You said you had no blooper reel.
But that's a
blooper.
I know, but it jars me when the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA shoots a free throw air ball, and I'm like, how could you do that?
I just want to make sure
How could you do that?
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Yes.
No other historically great player has ever airballed a free throw.
You know what? We've talked about this before. The really good free throw shooters, or let's just start with Jordan.
Okay, let's go Michael Jordan. So he's never airballed a free throw.
I don't think he's ever
No,
Well, I don't know that. I didn't keep count of if he ever airballed a free throw.
You should.
Like Kevin Durant is a very good free throw shooter. He's up around 90%. Do you think he ever missed the rim on a free throw attempt?
Internet, do your job. Sleuth.
Okay. Sleuths, do your job.
Yeah.
Find one.
They're going to find it.
Because if we look harder at LeBron's career, we might find 8, 9, 10.
No. But what you said is that no great free throw shooter, has ever airballed it. So I was like, okay, forget great. What about Jordan? Because that's the thing that you always compare to. I can assure you Michael Jordan has airballed a free throw.
Well, I don't know that for a fact.
Okay,
seriously, I don't know that.
Don't worry about it.
He was an 80,
they're going to find out.
He was an 84% free throw shooter. You're a 74%.
But you told me, the way you talk about him, he was 100%.
I did not talk
about you talking about, he would just go swish, swish.
No. I've seen him do I've seen him do it for money, left-handed blindfolded swish him. I have. I witnessed it.
Yeah.
One day I saw him make 2 in a row, left-handed with a blindfold on for God knows how much money, but there was a bunch of money on the table.
Wow.
I saw it in Indiana on a practice in the middle of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1998. I saw it.
Well, he must have had a blindfold on when he was going up against those Celtics.
Yeah.
Because he sure couldn't beat them.
Well, he scored 63 against
and lost.
Yeah.
I know a guy that threw for 500 yards in a game and lost.
I know a guy who went 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs. I don't know how he did it.
Easy.
But he's the GOAT.
He was the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the GOAT.
I'm just
The
trying to figure
runaway
out,
GOAT.
when did they start having final games? In the 90s? So they had no finals in the 80s. So how the hell did Magic Johnson and Larry Bird get 5 and 3 respectively if they had no finals in the 80s?
You know, I was thinking last night, anybody who truly believes that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan must also believe that the earth is flat.
No,
Yeah,
the earth is round, and the GOAT is better. Jordan can be a GOAT, but there's level to GOATness.
Yeah.
There's GOAT, there's GOATer, and there's the GOATist.
Okay. I'll let you hang on to your delusion for today because that looked like a basketball team last night. It did. You know it, and I know it. Now you're afraid of it because you know LeBron doesn't have any more excuses.
He didn't, Skip, we didn't give him no excuses, but the guys need to be consistent.
Okay, he wanted Russ, and now there's no more Russ. Is it possible Rob Pelinka is now on pace to be the executive of the year?
That ain't happening.
Why not?
Because.
Well, after last night, I'm saying, what a bang-up job you did.
So what about James Jones that pulled out the KD trade? So what's he gonna get?
Yeah, I think the owner pulled that one off, but go ahead. Yep.
No,
all right.
We good.
Guys, the Lakers led wire to wire last night. They dropped 38 in the first quarter. But Shannon, I will see you and your Lakers in New Orleans for a rematch on March 14th.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That sounds like a challenge.
It is. It is. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.